Hello, and welcome to New Game Plus's Magic the Gathering segment, Planeswalker Plus. I am your host, Clarke. In tonight's segment, we're going to meet our 4 brave players and watch them begin their journey to playing Standard. In Standard, you construct a deck using cards from the most recent series. Now, let's meet the players.
Hi, I'm Brad.
My name's Leigh Clarke.
Hi guys, my name's Viola.
I'm Shane Cousins.
Now, I used to work in a trading card game store. I haven't played Magic in a while, but getting back into it, I want to use that previous knowledge from when I used to work in a card store about a decade ago, hopefully outperform the other players by knowing their colors better than they know their colors.
I've been playing Magic the Gathering since I was a lot younger, about 13. I'm a returning player, and I think my biggest competition is going to be Brad.
This is my first time ever playing Magic the Gathering, so I'm super excited to get started. My secret tip on how I'm going to win: I'm going to steal all their cards when they're not looking.
Probably myself. I'm my biggest rival just because I'm probably going to, stuff myself up somehow. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Our good friends at Ultra Pro have hooked up our intrepid heroes with Dragon's Maze intro decks, deck boxes, and protector sleeves. Each month, with the help of our friends at Games Lab, they're going to pimp out their decks with the hopes of eventually winning the inaugural Planeswalker Plus Monument of Achievement. In Dragon's Maze, there are 10 two-color guilds. Each guild has a different mechanic that either punishes your opponent or rewards you, or preferably both. In theory, no guild is supposed to be better than any other, so it all comes down to personal preference. Who will they pick?
I chose, out of all the choices, the Gruul Siege, because it was a choice. No, that was mine.
This is your one.
I chose Simic Domination because it was a choice. And it was a choice I made because I had to make one. So that was the one I made.
I've chosen Azorius as my guild, mainly because when I do actually play the game, Azorius is what I play, but these cards, because they're Dragon's Maze, are completely new to me, so I'm learning some cool stuff, and you can't even play the card. Your colors are different, whatever, but yeah, Azorius. I played Azorius before, I want to play him again.
Alright, I chose the Gruul Siege, which is kind of really cool. The reason why I chose it, I'm going to be honest, is I have no honest idea. I was told it had lots of monsters, and its main color is green, which is my favorite color. That was pretty much my entire motivation right there.
I picked Orzhov's Power because that is a good question. I'm not 100% sure why I did.
I am excited. I'm not sure what to expect. Though so far, Viola's kind of stealing all of the shiny ones. So I'm expecting to have less shiny cards.
Both players will start on 20 life. Because Brad is going first, he's not going to draw in his first turn. But both he and Leigh will draw and untap on each of their subsequent turns. Let the games begin.
What happened was I got really, really lucky with top draws. I top drawed some awesome detain skills, and without those, I reckon I would have lost the match. But the one at the end, just a card, that was top draw, and it saved me the game because it detained his flyers, allowed my flyers to get in uninterrupted, and with that last little bit of life left he had.
The biggest thing is his deck is full of detains. So basically every time I bring out some kind of creature, he just stops it in its tracks. So basically sitting there and half of my summoned creatures just can't do anything. Greatest thing is I have Evolve on pretty much every single thing in my deck, apart from the really, really powerful creatures. So it's brilliant. As long as you bring them out in the right order, you kind of get this army-wide buff that brings up all their characteristics, but just didn't get it up fast enough, no pun intended.
totally won at the high five at the end, but I got slaughtered. Just gonna put it out there. It's my first match, so don't judge me. I don't know how to play the game. I think that's pretty much roughly where I went wrong. My strategy of stealing cards didn't really work out for me until the very end, where I just stole like a whole bunch of his cards.
I had flying, and she didn't have anything that could defend against flying, I guess. And Exort helped a lot, so I think that worked well.
And that's the game. At the end of the round, Shane and Brad are up 1, while Viola and Leigh have yet to score. So, Dean, how can our players improve their decks? Please impart some wisdom.
Okay, well, basically, they'll need to just find what they're actually losing to, whether it be having smaller creatures than their opponent's creatures, or finding that their opponents have too much removal for their creatures. Best way to get better at this game is to actually lose a bunch. And then, not just losing a bunch, but then asking your opponent, hey, is there anything I could have done different? Or asking if anyone's like watching your games, hey, did you recognize anything that I could have done different?
Okay, so with the new cards I've got now to this little pile here, I've gone mainly for detention. Like, detaining was a huge thing in the first game, and I want to enhance on that, have more cards that do detaining. So I had some lions in the old deck, which were what, 2/2, 2 costs. They didn't do a whole lot. So I've replaced them with more things like more arresters. So I've lost a little bit of life, but I'm getting more detention. I've also gotten rid of the mana exhilaration that the deck came with. So it had some clue stones, getting rid of them, replacing it with things like cancels, adding some counter ability to my deck, and martial law to add even more constant ongoing detention every turn from turn 4 onwards.
Well, new deck, basically I'm just taking out some of the dead cards, ones that really won't help my strategy, which is basically to get all my creatures to evolve as fast as possible. So Dean gave me some really good advice. I've got a few more creatures with Trample, which is going to allow me to get a lot of that damage over the line and actually hit through to my enemies, which was really, really handy in game, but I just didn't have enough. I've also got a lot of more powerful creatures and a couple of rares. That's really going to help me get some damage in there, as well as get my guys evolving, because I need a few powerful cards to be able to get all my little guys to get more powerful. So I've also got some Giants growth, which means that I can put some pretty huge +3/+3 buffs on my guys for when they attack. And along with Trample, I think that's going to be really interesting.
With these changes, hopefully I start off better. I think because my first match probably wasn't the greatest start. I don't know. There was a lot more like 5-6 costs in my beforehand, but now there's a lot of it's gone, and it's a lot more. It's like 2 and 3. So hopefully I get a better start.
All right, so I've taken out a few cards as well. Just things that weren't really in line with how the deck was going. Dean really sort of just took me through it card by card and explained why they weren't so great. So I actually got to learn some things about it, which was really cool. And then we added a few cards, which I'm just sleeving up right now, which just to improve the deck as well. So gonna see some really cool things come out of my deck in the next episode.
Thanks to Ultra Pro, we have a great prize pack to give away, including 1 Rakdos intro deck, a deck box, sleeves, and badge. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, NGP Planeswalker Plus, like it, and tell us whose deck you like best and why. Tune in next time to see how our players' decks have progressed and to see us all take on the limited Mini Masters format. I'll see you then.